Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what. Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hello.
Hey, Lance.
Hey, Lance.
I was watching Serfs earlier.
What were you having fun? Was it fun?
Yes, I was, and there was a lot of David. You were there too.
Was I in spirit?
Yeah.
Video?
Yeah, you were.
No,
there.
I was playing a David Dole video. I usually play a David Dole video or a Mike video or an Illuminati video at some point in my surf streams. Yeah,
Nice.
cross pollination.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Which video
oh,
was it?
it's on here. It was you talking about the Brianna Joy Gray woke Graffiti
Oh
Mandel.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so sad. Oh my goodness.
We can talk about it, you guys, a little later.
That was beautiful. That was a beautiful performance on Brianna's part. I was
It
like,
was.
bro, I gotta give her props. Like
Yep.
that was that like because when you think of it, like it's acting, right? Like it's a performance, right? And I love like the choice in roles, right? Like I'm way more like I really like the mockumentary, look at the camera and stuff like that. But Brianna really leans into earnest. She keeps it up the whole time, like
You can take your time.
we're on the same page. And she maintained that like the earnest stare the whole like she never let the camera catch her. I was like, that you can take your time.
Yeah.
I just love how she knew it was going to go viral. She was like, this is going to be one of those viral
wrote-
And then
Look
even
on
after
this.
that big clip that broke that went big, she then questioned Robbie because Robbie was like, "Well, I know what it means." She's like, "Well, then you explain it."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a vibe. That's
Hello.
what I get.
Tinder.
What I missed? What are we talking about?
We were talking about the clip of the week.
Did we watch it already?
Clip of the week.
No. Oh, we'll
Clip
get
of
to
the
it. But
week.
somebody here
Leftist
has an
Mafia.
announcement to make today.
Yes. Well, I guess. Oh shit! I can't even say. Oh, let me get out of full screen so I can see the live chat. I just realized. What am I doing? Hold
I
on.
will.
Who's live chat? Whose live chat are you monitoring?
I'm always in. I'm in the national chat. But yes, you can just show them.
Show them. All right.
Yes. And then y'all can drop the link in the chat. Full screen. Put on up and let the girl get a show.
Turn it up.
I'll turn it up.
What if I told you that instead of spending your time and hours of your life you can never get back, bursting through the internet, scouring through Twitter, trying to debunk propaganda, find out what's going on with social justice movements, that I, a bitch who's chronically online, to bring it straight to you. My name is Olayemi Olurin. You can call me Olay, because why butcher my name? I'm a movement lawyer, a political commentator, a writer, an advocate, and what I'd like to call a professional loudmouth. And I'm here to run my mouth in service of you.
me help you?
And I am so excited to finally be launching my own show, iilluminaughtii. So instead of the stress, instead of the bore, instead of the anxiety, what if I just answered your questions directly? Subscribe, baby. The cat's name is Raheem.
Hell yeah.
Not about pimping out my cat to get you to
That's
subscribe.
so good.
Thank you.
There we
Yes.
Everyone,
I'll be
go
tuning in.
subscribe right now. I feel like
Pull
we
up
can
the-
get you to
pull up
10K
the,
subs in a week, right?
Yes,
Oh,
like
easy,
yes, run it
easy.
up.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna put out the first
Pull up
episode
the,
on
yeah.
Here's the
Wednesday.
page. Here you go.
Raheem is in the banner. So cute.
As he should
Yes.
be.
Yes,
The more you
it's
subscribe, as you
actually
can
a-
see.
True Blair.
It's actually a very,
4
very
subs.
cute image. I can show y'all. I'll send it in our thingy. You can see Raheem be very cute. I sent it in our Leftist Mafia Twitter, so you can show the people the full image of Raheem really being poppin'.
All right, I'll bring it
Like the royalty he is. I love my son.
I love that.
I know who's the real
I
star.
love the crown.
Yes, I definitely, you know how I'm a ridiculous person. I told the artist when I told him how to do his crown, I was like, like the notorious B.I.G. like, I was like,
Definitely
that's
that
what
vibe
you,
for sure. Yeah.
that's
I
what you should
love
be
it.
giving to Raheem. Yeah. Oh, they can someone put the link in the chat for our yeah. Oh, y'all did. Yeah, y'all did. They asked for it, but give them the link to the video since they're asking.
Ooh,
Thank
folks in the
you.
chat are asking what kind of content do you plan on making? I assume maybe long
The
form,
first-
short term.
First episode that I'm putting out on Wednesday is on why Eric Adams is not the hip hop mayor. Because he has been proclaiming and calling himself, and Ice-T recently honored him with an honorary plaque as the hip hop mayor of New York City. First video.
Olay's already losing me. I gotta unsubscribe. It's undeniable. Yeah, Eric Adams is the hip hop mayor. I mean, I've already drawn the line.
That's so cringe.
Well, I know we already have a ton of questions of everyone just popping into that form. So I don't know if you guys want to get into it because there's some kind of individually for folks and some more general questions.
Should we first do the Bethany Mandel thing and then
Yes.
do some questions?
Yeah.
Can I also just say one thing before we start? That
No.
Are you all feeling wonderful after this last week? They're like the woke mind virus kicked fucking ass this week. I know we're going to talk about all the stories, but they are fast and furious. There is so many from the cock milking fetish porn all the way to Abby Shapiro validating a trans woman's existence. Okay. I was shocked. I was like, oh, David Dole the next day is going to be all over this cock milking fetish porn shit. And no David Dole. I was, what the hell?
I'm just over Jordan Peterson. Like this, I feel like
but it's so funny.
Is it with him? He's like,
I'm sorry. The way that Len said that, I thought David Dole would be all over this cock milking fetish porn shit was just. We have to go back to that.
You can't. Don't clip it. Don't clip it, please.
Flip it.
Like, because we all know David Dole, and when he sees cock milking porn.
gotta be on that immediately. That's my wheelhouse right there.
You know what? I do think now that you mention it, I do think it's quite odd that David Dole wasn't all over that video. Interesting.
Actually, that's because it wasn't a video. If there was a video.
Oh, there was a video. There was a video.
Oh,
it was a video. He posted a video.
Did you not see the original video? Oh yes, no, I've seen the video.
And if I saw that on my timeline, I'd be like, "What the? No, I'm not gonna watch this."
I thought it was fake. I thought the whole thing was a meme. I thought someone else had made that. I was like, "Oh yeah," because there's already a meme going around. Oh.
Yeah, what you're saying? It was never.
I saw it before he removed it. It was a full blown video. It was real as can be.
It was.
I thought he posted a screenshot. Oh my god! No wonder his daughter was.
Oh no, it was a video.
I mean, I watched it because I had to make sure he didn't tweet out the one that I was in, but.
You too, Matt.
Oh, you got a pass?
If anyone has no, by the way, we should get some context here. If anyone has no idea what we're talking about, Jordan Peterson at the beginning of this week went like even crazier than usual. He posted some cock milking porn, I guess is what it's called. That he claimed.
Why don't we pull it up so we could take down half of leftist YouTube and Twitch in 1 second?
Yeah, I'm not pulling it. But he claimed it was like. What was this claim that it was China or something?
Yes, that it was
someone
CCP.
else. So someone else had already fooled him by posting a video of this hardcore fetish porn and then saying like, "This is what is this China? The 3-child policy?" And then he's like, "Just another day in CCP techno nightmare hell." And I was like, you genuinely believe that this is a video of a breeding program to increase the population of Chinese people? And you saw that as so outrageous. You had to tweet about it. You had to post it on Maine to 3.8 million people who follow him. Please don't ever let this die. Keep
And
this
wasn't
going
it
for all
clearly like a
time.
bunch of white guys in the video? Like this, how was it China?
Yes, it was British men, actually. The porn apparently is from the UK.
That's right.
It has been identified, and yes.
How did he find this though? Like, what is his timeline like to
There
come
was
across that?
Yeah, I saw the original where it came from because it was actually a video embed. You know how if you grab a video link of someone's uploaded video on Twitter,
Mhm.
it shows like the username underneath the video of where
Okay.
it originated from. It was some Chinese account who later came out and apologized as well, saying, "I was sent this by someone on WhatsApp who claimed that this was happening in China to me." And of course, these fucking idiots don't check nothing, because why would they? They just believe everything they see on the internet. They buy their little Twitter blue verified check marks to make them look more serious. And then they just spread all of this shit, and people see the check mark combined with exactly what they believe, and they go, "Oh, of course I'm right. Let me share it." It works like that every single time for every single subject, no matter what it is. And it took him quite a while to take it down. It wasn't quick. It was up for a while.
Took his daughter criticizing it. She was like, "Dad, you can't put this on my timeline."
Yeah, she didn't even complain that it was bullshit. She just said, "Don't show this to me." Yeah,
don't show me the Chinese communist breeding programs. Also, same week that Jordan Peterson also thought Shoe on Head was trans and detransitioned, and
That
then
was hilarious.
also retweeted, and a lot of right wingers are guilty of this. Retweeted a picture without the consent of the parents or the teenager in the picture, a topless teenager who he believes to be a girl. Yes, which technically constitutes him consciously retweeting child porn. Technically, unless he's willing to admit that trans men are men. Yeah,
it's because it's all just a performance for them. They know they're not actually what they claim they are. Like whatever. I like how since we brought up this milking topic, neither of the women have said anything.
What the hell are we supposed to say?
Do you support the CCP? That's what the real question is.
Yeah. Or their breeding programs. Do you support the super soldiers?
Anyways, we can move on to this Bethany Mandel thing. I can intro this. So this week, Bethany Mandel, who is a conservative writer, and my understanding, her and her husband are kind of like big and conservative in the conservative space. They both write a lot about being parents that homeschool, and they're very conservative. They're very worried about the woke ideology that is affecting children. Well, she was on The Hill Rising with Brianna Joy Gray and Robbie. I forget Robbie's last name, but the two hosts there. And I'm sure a lot of you saw this clip, but there's actually two clips, because the other clip was not that I used in my video, has not been as widely viewed. But let's start first with the big clip that went viral. Make sure the audio is boosted.
Damn, it's at 10 million views now.
Yeah,
I love this.
It blew up.
Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we
what
talk
does that
about
mean to
traditional
you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression.
What does that even mean?
Sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look,
You can take your time.
You can take your time. That was fantastic.
Americans consider
So,
themselves.
I'll get to the second clip in a bit here, but just that. So I didn't explore it in my video because I just didn't know what to say about it. These hierarchies of oppression, is that what that means to some people? Is that what woke means? Like what is hierarchies of oppression? I don't even know what that is.
Listen, she just didn't want to say that when she says woke, she means black people, or when she says woke, she means LGBT people. That's what it is. We know because their followers, when they take this to the cultural stuff, it's loud and clear what they mean when they say woke. Oh, look, Little Mermaid's gone woke now. Oh, how did it go woke? Oh, there's a black actress cast in it. Oh, this show is woke now. Oh, how did it go woke? Oh, there's a trans person in the show now. They know exactly what it means. They're just too chicken shit to say it because the mainstream society that she's claiming isn't these things actually looks down upon, for the most part, them saying that stuff because, we're in the year 2023. We're not in the 1940s or 50s anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So she does go on to give an example of what she means when about woke in the classroom. So this was less. This didn't get as much exposure, but I think this is worth watching.
So with the example of a 5-year-old, one example that one of my friends just posited on Twitter, her 5-year-old came home and said, I like girls. And so that means different things to different people. For an adult, and sort of what the adults were sort of telling that child and what they understood they were sort of framing for that child was that it's okay to be gay or straight, and more of a sexuality question. Whereas for children, it's more, I like girls and I like boys.
So Bethany, I saw that tweet that you mentioned. It was someone who said, I was recently at my friend's son's 8th birthday party. I was chatting with one of the moms, and she said that her 5-year-old daughter came home from school and said she likes girls, and that her teacher said that's okay. So the response seems to have been that's okay, without more editorializing about whether it's sexual or not. Although you quote tweeted it saying talking about sexuality with young children weird again, make that weird again.
Yeah.
And without more, it does seem like that's just that's fine and let it go, and we'll see if she grows up and is actually lesbian or she just likes hanging out with her friend Crystal. So what would you prefer a parent do? What do we think is the appropriate course of action there to tell a kid it's not okay to like girls?
No, so the rest of that tweet said, the mother was complaining that this is kind of constant messaging that's happening at the school.
No, that's bullshit.
So all the teacher did was say, that's okay. It's Bethany Mandel that quote tweeted that and then turned that into some devious thing that the teacher said, that's okay, as if that was encouraging and by the way, even if it was encouraging the kid to be who they are, it's like, girl, who gives a shit? But that's what she was claiming the teacher did. The teacher just said, that's okay. It shows you the lengths they will go to try and find a narrative when there is absolutely nothing wrong going on. It's just teachers just listening to kids and accepting them and allowing them to express themselves. That's the extent of it. And it's people like Bethany Mandel that turn this into some scary thing.
Yeah, also, she homeschools her kids. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You homeschool your kids. Stay out of it. What do you care? It's not affecting you. Christ almighty.
Well, Matt, I heard that apparently on a hot mic, there was a bit of a kerfuffle, so to speak. A problem where Brianna Joy Gray was talking about how many kids or something like that. I saw that. So that's what explains her really bad definition.
Oh my God. As somebody who is behind the scenes, regular Riley, host the show. All right. Oh my God. Let me put on my cape for Brianna.
First, explain what happened. So Bethany Mandel came out afterwards and basically said that before they began recording, Brianna Joy Gray made some joke about people having kids because they're selfish. Like, that was the extent of it.
That white girl got her ass handed to her because she's absolutely fucking mediocre and unprepared. That is unbelievable that you can make something your flagship talking point and not think that you need to, at the very least, have a template fucking answer for how to define it. You think anybody could ask me an abolition question and catch me off fucking guard? Okay. Anyhow,
she wrote a book. She wrote a book.
She wrote a book.
Absolutely.
She was promoting her book.
Wildly mediocre and incompetent, and it says something about what is the usual tenor of what happens on Rising, that she figures that's the kind of environment she expects to be softball, that even just defining it was something that threw her the fuck off. She was blown away. But then the boldness, the sheer audacity to sit there and tote that ass whooping online and come there and say, I will blatantly do my best to try to blame this Black woman because I am so upset Brianna is a villain because she made me look. No, Brianna don't got shit to do with that. Listen, Brianna don't got shit to do with that. Brianna don't got shit to do with why you can't define what you allegedly wrote a whole chapter about, sweetie. So you come and say foolishness. There's no such thing as a hot mic or whatever at Rising. You come on and you're on. You're right there. We know we're mic'd up the whole fucking time. You come on. You're on the screen. We see you. There is no secret aside conversation, whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. A hot mic? What the fuck you think this is, bro? We're mic'd up with a hot
for
mic.
context.
That pissed me right off. Like, I was so tight. Bring what? A hot mic.
Just for
Ooh.
context, this is
And
the
also,
this is
by
the
the way,
tweet.
hold on, and
Yeah,
this is
go
an
ahead.
important point. That question, Brianna asked her that question 7 minutes into the interview. That you were so kerfuffled. But I promise, 7 minutes later.
So just for context, this is the tweet that Bethany Mandel put out saying, just before we went on air, Brianna Joy Gray was on a hot mic, which of course, not a hot mic. I heard her demeaning parenting in general, in colorful and nasty terms, stating parents only have kids in order to
Nasty.
perpetuate their own narcissism. Robbie responded, there are some good ones and some bad ones. Like, first of all, that's the worst you can come up with? Like, this
Yeah, that threw her off.
I'm a parent, and this does not offend me whatsoever. I said those things in the past. Like this is, of course, parents have had kids because they're narcissistic. Like that, obviously, yes, many parents do that. That's not like news. I don't even
Also-
know what is the what is the criticism here? What
The
is the
nimble
point?
gymnastics was incredible. To blame Brianna,
Mhm.
that was wild. I was like, you're
Also-
embarrassing, Miss Mamas.
Hot mic too, by the way. No need to sexualize the situation. It's just a microphone. Doesn't need to be.
Ooh.
I sit here awkwardly. No. Well, and what she said, like her example of woke is really interesting because for me, like when I was a kid, there was no woke nonsense. And when I was 5 years old, I said the same thing when I came home from school, but I didn't get it from school. So for example, like I've shared this story before. My mom was having like a regular conversation about me and with me, and she said something to the effect of, "Well, when you grow up one day and you get a wife or a girlfriend, then you'll have kids," or some shit like that. I don't remember the context, but I basically responded by saying, "Well, I don't want a girlfriend. I want a boyfriend." And she's like, why do you want a boyfriend? And I'm like, because I want a boyfriend. That's what I want. I don't want a girlfriend. And she's like, well, you can't because girls have boyfriends and boys have girlfriends. And I'm like, no, I want a boyfriend. And like, she didn't accuse the teacher of like feeding this in my head. Like, I picked up on it because I saw other people talking about like mommies and daddies. And even like in kindergarten, like at that age, you see the other kids talking about, oh, he's cute, she's cute and whatnot. So I thought, oh, well, this is what's natural to me. I want to have a boyfriend. It wasn't like a deep thing. Like I wasn't like, Mom, I'm gay. Like it wasn't anything like that. But just as a kid, that was me kind of acknowledging for the first time, now that I look back, that I was gay. It wasn't something that like I was indoctrinated into, because guess what? I was also homeschooled. I was also evangelical, and I grew up gay as shit. So you can't stop people from being who they're going to be. So I love that that's the example that she uses.
Indoctrinated by your teacher, of course, Mike. We know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That does go to like their belief that this can be implanted into you, as opposed to just you like who you like. Like
It's a way to deflect blame because they see being gay as a bad thing. So they go, well, I could not have raised my kid to be bad. Therefore, I will blame the teacher instead. It's just a way to deflect blame and not take responsibility. Not that you need to take responsibility for being gay. Like, which that's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't make sense in my head. I think I totally butchered that though. But
No, what you're saying makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also we should also mention the fact that like if it works, that you can expose people to, let's just say, gay propaganda, gay movies, and gay stuff, and it turns them gay.
There isn't.
There would be no gay people.
Right.
It's all straight shit everywhere, all the time. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? It's just like, do you want a burger? Do you want burgers and tits? Oh, look at how the mayonnaise is falling on the titties. Like, oh, God, maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Am I hungry or horny? What do you want? Just take money. Like that's the way it is everywhere in life.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. I'm just what?
Now you're hungry and horny,
Basically.
right? It works. It's happening right now.
Culture has been very heterosexual for ever. So yeah,
So
the idea
heterosexual.
that culture would turn people gay. To your point, there would be no gay people then. If that was
Yeah,
the case.
there was
Yeah,
no
there-
gay people that I knew of growing up. Like, I didn't know any gay people. I remember it was such a huge thing that Ellen came out. We watched the Ellen show, and all of a sudden it was gone after she came out. And that was like my only exposure to gay people and how controversial that was. And I was like, oh, okay, I like the show, but I guess that if she's gay, then that's bad. And like, the next time that I could remember like seeing homosexuality or something homoerotic on TV was watching Borat with my dad and being like, oh, remember that wrestling scene when they're naked? That was very awkward to watch with my dad. So I'm like, oh, this is really gay. And like at the time I wasn't out, but I'm just sitting there really awkwardly like, oh God, like I'm not turned on, but it's just like, this is two dudes on the screen. This is fucking weird. Like I can't, oh my God. Like I wanted to sink into my chair. And it stood out to me because you never saw that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can be indoctrinated into this. Otherwise, if you could have, I would have been. Like I would have, like I actually, like when my family got a computer and we got internet finally when I was 17 years old, because we were very broke. The first thing that I did when everyone went to bed was I got on the computer, and this is going to sound dirty, but no, I didn't look at porn. I Googled conversion therapy because I wanted to go to conversion therapy, but I couldn't find one that would be like discreet. So like even like as I started to realize, okay, something's kind of wrong here. Like it's not like there's no way that you can be programmed into it. You just are who you are. So these people are very, very ignorant about just like human sexuality, about gender. And it shows because they're incredibly vapid. And the second that you ask them a basic question, their worldview crumbles.
It's very possible they're also suppressing something themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so to them, that's what they have to do. So they figure, well, isn't everyone like this? Aren't they all suppressing these emotions, or these feelings, these natural feelings they have? Like that comes out for a lot of these people on a constant basis.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, oh yeah, you've been this entire time that you're anti-gay, you've been gay. And like how many times has that happened with Republicans? Like it's been again and again.
Bro, I would have been in the Guinness World Records for F slurs as a teenager just to prove to everyone how not gay I was. Like if you could go back, oh my God, I was the biggest homophobe imaginable. But of course, it was me trying to like hide who I really was. I was like externalizing my internalized homophobia. So a lot of these people who think about this so much and talk about it so much, I'm sorry, but that's a red flag. Like, you're gay, you're dealing with something. You know, there's a number of people, Matt Walsh, Steven Crowder, that come to mind, and it seems like a trope.
Governor of Tennessee.
Exactly, yeah. Which that's something we should talk about too.
Bussiology 101. Mike, you called this out a week ago, and like a lot of us were just like, wait, what? And then the next day that interview came out, and oh, what a gift. That's what I mean. The woke mind virus fucking took over this week. Like not just the Jordan Peterson stuff, that it's like that was the gift that kept on giving. Just not even the likes that man had, but the precision and talking about how you can bring rainbows and sunshine, and it's like just a straight up ass photo, you know. And I'm like, this is so beautiful. I love every part of this.
But
I don't know.
So good.
I can't help it. I can't help it, but I felt kind of bad for the guy because like this guy.
Oh, afterwards, yes.
Because also like
anger to sadness.
Also, like as a politician, he is also in the past has tried to downplay and like not focus on those issues. He's tried to move his party to focus on like actual important issues. I'm sure not the right solutions, but regardless, he's tried to focus on different issues. And the party's like, no, we're doing this. So he's kind of put into, but the fact that this guy's been suppressing this his entire life, and he's like so old now, and just
grew up,
God, you wasted your entire life like being someone else.
Who is it? Who are we talking about?
Randy
Wait,
McNally.
the lieutenant governor? Yeah, Randy McNally.
Right.
Man.
I was.
He posts fire emojis when he sees fire bussy.
Yeah, some of the stuff can't even show.
The man knows what he likes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he's if nothing else descriptive. Let's say that.
I just love how there's a picture of him like fucking basically spreading his cheeks, and he's like, "You sure are sunshine on a dark day." I'm like, God damn, that is the gayest shit I've ever heard. Like, like who's like, what the fuck?
Okay, I can probably show this because it blocked it out.
We have censored versions now.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Hassan streamed what is it, last week tonight, and that had a much censored. More. That had the uncensored version on Twitch. So I think I've showed the uncensored version on Twitch. If I'm being real. So yeah.
Hard, fire.
Here we go. So you can see, and it's on his official account, like Governor McNally, and you can turn it. You can turn a rainy day into rainbows and sunshine. Like.
Incredible.
I'm sorry, I'm not buying the. Oh, I just wanted to be encouraging. You're commenting on his ass, my dude.
That's his defense, that he's being encouraging to people like this. Maybe part of him feels bad that he's like legislated against them, so he's like, this is a way of coping with it. He comments on their photos to try and make them feel better.
Honestly, the comment, "You can turn a rainy day into rainbows and sunshine," like if McNally actually just commented like "nice ass," I would have thought he was less. I would have thought maybe he was just being encouraging. Like I thought maybe he was just being encouraging, but the rainy day into rainbows and sunshine. I mean, I think maybe.
Not to mention the hearts and the fire emojis. That's
the hearts and the fire.
The fire.
Apparently, he's old and doesn't know how to use emojis.
I think he didn't know what the emojis meant, and I was like, "Sir."
Heart, fire.
Oh no, I was just trying to be encouraging. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Huh, nice bussy there, son. I'd love to stick my cock in it. Heart emoji. Like, come on, man.
Again, I do think that would have been less gay than the rainbow.
This is my favorite.
I also love that he has a team of people who are like, you know what? This is pretty wild. This is one hell of a story, sir. You should get in front of it. Why don't you go on the camera tomorrow? Why don't you answer questions? Go do an interview. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
Make
that
sure you're extra sweaty and hot.
Yeah, the fact that he did an interview.
Do we have the interview? Because we didn't have that interview last episode.
It's so.
Yeah, I would love to watch that. I didn't cover the interview itself, but it's so
definitely good. It definitely is an interview that I would not have expected in a million years.
Why would you get on camera after this?
Very weird.
No,
but why would you get on camera and be like how he was? Like, he was like, oh, I might not have all read that whole part of the tweet. And then because he liked it. There was one section where he was like, he liked the Instagram comment. And it was something about like, you have to pull it up. I don't want to mess it up because it's way crazy.
It's about being a male prostitute and basically sucking people off for weed. And he liked that one.
Yeah, but listen to what he says, though.
Okay, let's watch Hot Ones.
Can we put it louder?
That works?
Yeah.
One is a slut, the other is a prostitute, and underwent free weed forgiveness in a reference to a sexual
He's got the printout and everything.
I just love the slow zoom on his.
Wait! You gotta rewind it because we gotta catch this part. It's so. This part is so funny.
You can barely hear it though.
Can you put it even louder?
As loud as it could possibly go. I'm at 600% on the
All right, let's all be quiet for a second. Let's all be quiet for a second because it's really funny.
Okay, people in both chats. Okay, so people in all, I got all three chats. They can't hear it. So what he's asked is like, should you have liked a post that says this? He's like, I don't always know what the posts are all about. And it's like, well, what about the fact that it says that there's a prostitute? And he's like, yeah, I knew about that. And then he's like, should you have liked that? Probably not. So he straight up admits to the fact that yes, he knew that this was a person trading weed for blowjobs.
Incredible.
I got nothing else.
All right. Well, we got plenty of questions tonight. Let's start with the easy one. Ask Matt to discuss his involvement in handing out weapons in the Capitol on J6 while dressed as an Antifa ninja.
Oh, right. Okay. So I've been asked this a few times now on the various different shows I'm on. The jig's up. I was there January 6th. I was dressed up as a ninja because, as one does. And I was part of the Antifa super soldier secret undercover agents that were there. And we were handing out weapons. And for people who have no idea what I'm talking about, basically...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about either.
Okay, so there was a tweet going around of... it was like a super viral tweet of a video from like Tucker Carlson's batch of January 6th videos that shows like the cherry-picked content of like the J6 riders, just politely walking, as they're getting to where they're going to be violent or whatever. But this is like, politely walking or whatever. And there was like an argument under this viral tweet about whether it was Antifa who got violent, because in like one of the videos posted, there was like weapons or something. People were claiming the weapons were being handed out by Antifa. And then I come across this, in that thread of replies, someone posts a video of people in the Capitol building, and he claims that looks awfully like Matt Binder, the one dressed like a ninja, and that soon it'll all come out soon enough, I guess. So basically, and it wasn't a joke, it was a very legitimate, serious right-winger who truly seems to believe that I was at January 6th dressed up as a ninja.
Hold on.
Here it
Let
is.
me see, because you
Here's
made a lot
Matt
of
Binder right
incriminating statements. Let me see.
I mean,
Because the defense attorney in me hasn't liked the statements you've been making. I've wanted to jump in and say you're very confident that this can't be taken to a court of law. So let me see the video.
Well, isn't there this is it right here. It's just like a still. No, it is a video, but it's just a still. That's all the guy does. He just walks by. He thought that one looked like me, I guess. I mean, I see it. I see it because it is me. I see it.
I certainly see it more than Pete Davidson. I see it more, or Jon Snow. I see it more than that. I see it.
I mean, I'm not worried about talking about it because, I read up a little bit of stuff about statute of limitations, and I'm assuming I can't get caught anymore. I'm good. I'm free.
Oh my god.
So,
all right.
Like, this could be whatever. I mean, yeah, it's you. But this could be anybody. Like, it's so ridiculous.
But I love that last sentence.
You immediately.
It'll come out soon enough, as if like there's gonna be some big exclusive unveiling of me, and I'm gonna be like caught red-handed. Christ.
You'll do a big unmasking.
So I actually have kind of an unhinged comment. I'm not sure if this is a troll or whatever, but I'm gonna let this one go so we can either like fact check or what here. So this goes, why do left tubers ignore the racist lies about single motherhood from conservatives? Last time I checked, there are 40 million more single white mothers than black, which is awesome because single mothers are awesome. And the more single mothers we have in this country, the lower the crime rate goes. From 1990 to 2020, crime dropped by 35% in raw numbers. Meanwhile, over 100 million people were added to the USA population, 40% of those children born to single mothers. And let's not forget, most marriages end in divorce. And then in all caps, how the fuck do left tubers let this lie live on for anti-black racists like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens? How?
Well, we hate single mothers, very obviously.
because most left tubers, just like most media people, just like most everything, is white. Like you every like black, like they're not gonna get everything. You think they cover a particular arena of things. That's not exactly. None of them are an expert to talk in that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they take that over suddenly, what do you think the conversation is gonna sound like? Do you think they had them stats on them? You think that was an issue closest to their hearts? Imagine if just tomorrow no prep jumped in nosedive. The leftists.
But I would also argue that that's just like incorrect. I don't like what is the
yeah, the whole general I wasn't gonna get into the weeds, the substance of the argument as far as
like where's the proof like of this? Yeah,
with the single motherdom. I do agree though with the first point that they stay stigmatizing that towards black women. Meanwhile, the Kardashians can. No man, everybody, white women out here stay having babies, not married. Now, absolutely, you're right. It has been a long time coming that rebrand, that call out needed to fucking happen. I agree with that. I'm not signing on to like an endorsement like pro single motherdom that'll solves crime. As a matter of fact, I think that would be wrong because one income household is going to do worse off financially and poverty and crime. You see how that goes. So no, not the general.
Well, and also I reject that framing in general, that the conservative framing that being raised by a single mother has anything to do with this. Honestly, it's just blaming women for the faults of majority of these criminals. I'm assuming statistically are men. I mean, that seems pretty unnecessary to me.
I reject the premise of the question entirely because maybe you haven't seen the videos that we actually have done on this. Like, I've talked about the welfare queen smear by Reagan, which was explicitly racist. So,
You better get him, Mike. Get him. You guys say you better get him, Mike. Mike said, hold on.
Maybe you haven't looked, motherfucker.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, I was watching Serfs today. I've actually been watching Serfs. I've been tuning into Serfs here and there pretty often recently, and I'd be like, yo, Lance, you really be doing that. I'm like, this is exactly how the train of thought went in my mind. How I went to give Lance credit, and then I finally understood why he gets shit. I was like, listening, I was like, Lance does more like race covering and getting people together on racist stuff than even I say, like, I dare say it, my black ass does on a daily basis. And I was like, that's I'll tell you, no, on general, I do on criminal. I'm black, so I'm always calling out racism in some people. But I'm saying in terms of like stepping on my feelings to give a side lecture, I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, now I get why they can't stand him, because I'm always like, why these people when they call your name? I was like, why all these right wing people hate John's guts? I'm like, they're so nice. And I was like, this is the content. I like this. This is why you get in trouble. I see it.
Got to be careful with that framing of it. If someone looked at Lance and heard the phrase, Lance gets people together on racist.
I've got like the shaved head on the side too right now, right? You know, like I can do the Peaky Blinders. I can say it's like the Peaky Blinders, you know, and that kind of stuff. But it's also like, but also Richard Spencer looks that way, so you should be careful what you say.
Right. Lance loves to get his friends together and light them tiki torches and march down the street.
That's very nice of you to say. I genuinely feel that way about, I think, every single person in the Leftist Mafia at one point or another. Like, because I watch all of your content on my stream. I don't know if all of you or you stream regularly, but I think I watch everyone here at one point or another. I'll play one of your videos. Usually Matt for crypto stuff, financial stuff. Like if I was like to be like, oh, what's a good take on SVB? I would be like, Matt, you know, like you would be my go-to for that. Yeah. Actually, are we going to talk about that?
We could. Yeah.
I mean, let's jump into it.
Okay. Was there any questions about it from the audience?
Let me take a quick peek.
That could be a good way to frame it.
Tackle right now are talking about like or asking about the Dominion lawsuit with Fox News, Daily Wire going mask off. But you know what? I'm not seeing a ton of questions about SVG or whatever. But if anyone wants to quickly throw some questions in,
yeah, let's hit the Dominion stuff and give people a chance to ask questions, so we can actually
about the bank, and let's talk about Dominion really quick in the lawsuit in the meantime.
Sounds good. So I saw a wonderful poll. Let me pull it up first, but it was quite amazing. Basically, it seems that Fox's election fraud narrative and claiming that the results were, the election was stolen and the results were fraudulent, and their hosts out there saying Dominion was involved in this is really coming back to bite them in the ass. And let me pull up this poll that I saw because it's pretty interesting. Someone take over while I get this poll.
You share it, so let's see if I can. I know what you're talking about it, but yeah. So I don't know. In case
here, I just found it. Okay, so I'm gonna let me drop it in the chat so you could pull it up. This is just the results in this tweet. If you want to open up the article, we could read some from there too. But new poll. This is from Variety. New poll on Fox News's viewers since the Dominion revelations. 21% of Fox News viewers have less trust in the network. 9% aren't watching the network as much as they used to. And 13% no longer believe the election was stolen after reading the private texts from Fox News' stars, which, of course, the texts came out and were released as part of the Dominion lawsuit. We wouldn't know this stuff. These were private texts. We wouldn't know this stuff if it wasn't for this lawsuit.
Republicans are so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Honestly, think about it. These numbers, for it to be as fucking factual as it is, it's like certified in court documents. And Fox
honestly.
They're the
But
dumbest
what's
fucking
surprising is that it's still the fact
I actually
that
think
there's
those.
double digits here. This is actually surprising to me.
I know.
This
Yeah.
is actually
That's
like,
the
you
thing.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the sad-
Like that's
the
incredible.
sad- and that's what's incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking incredible. I want to remind you, this is a world superpower. Half the fucking country. Oh, listen.
The world superpower.
It's a damn shame. It's a goddamn. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. I myself, a Bahamian, cannot relate, but y'all should be ashamed of these numbers.
Wow.
But is this gonna have any staying power? Like,
That's the thing. How
this is still just
long
Fox.
until they
This is not-
forget?
this isn't- yeah, this isn't. You know, I guess I don't know. How would Newsmax viewers feel about this? Because they feel like Fox News isn't far right enough, so they don't like Fox News.
Mm.
But does this does this break their brains because this is them saying that this is clearly not true, even though they believe this stuff is true? So it both adds to them hating Fox because they're shown to be snakes, while at the same time exposing that what they themselves believe as Newsmax viewers is clearly untrue. So it's a little conundrum.
Fox
Mhm.
News brain is real, and it's real terrifying.
Yeah.
That is the reality.
Only 9% say they're not watching as much as they used to.
But they're
But,
still
like,
watching.
What's the demographics? Where does this skew? Like, how many Americans are watching this versus how many Americans like over the age of what, like 50, 60? And I'm not trying to disparage people who are
I'm seeing
older.
if
I'm
there's
just saying like this is.
demographics
Does it say? It just says adults 18 plus.
Yeah, just as adults.
Yeah, I would have liked an age breakdown. That I think that would have been a little bit more telling.
Yeah. But like,
Well, like kids get their
who's-
information off TikTok, right?
Yeah, like who's
Like,
even
they don't watch Fox News.
who's even watching Fox? Who's even watching cable news generally that isn't like, you know, over 60? Like it's just this
Right.
isn't the demographic just isn't there.
That's why CNN pivoted like to the right. It was because you got to follow that, right? That model. It's basically like no one's going to be watching television, primetime television for news, unless you skew that age.
Yeah,
I would
unless
assume.
you skew more older and generally because of that more conservative, at least the way things are currently made up.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I should just do a quick PSA that like you can be old and not be a boomer. I'm just saying like Bernie Sanders has been based his entire career.
Mhm.
He's got like a long history
Mm-hmm. yeah.
of actually being on the right side of history for a lot of it.
I
And
have
then
viewers that
myself, I
remind
can,
me-
you know,
I have viewers
Go
that
ahead.
remind me every time where like if I sound a little too general in my criticism of like an older generation, then people have comments being like, "Hey, I'm 65 and I love you know I don't agree with any of this stuff." Like, of
I'm gonna
course,
be
you know,
honest, boomers kind of
understand you guys are
built
the outliers.
mentality.
Like,
yeah, of
Like,
course.
boomers
You're
mentality,
the outlier.
you can have a 30-year-old boomer or you can have like a 60-year-old boomer. I don't see it more as like an age demographic thing, but it's like a set mindset you have. Like being a boomer transcends age. It's having just this
Yes.
nasty, snotty, shitty attitude about everything and everyone and being entitled.
Closed off.
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
closed off. I don't want to learn new things. Okay, no, this is weird and scary to me. I don't want to learn more. I'm good. I want to, shame you. Let's do that. That's
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah, boomer is a vibe, as Tariq says in the chat. I totally agree. I feel like
Boomer
as
is
a
a vibe.
society, we have disaggregated the mentality of boomers from the generation. And so, like, for me at least, when I say, like, boomer or boomerisms, like, when I'm talking about it in a derisive way, I'm not necessarily referring to the generation because, like, it's
No.
just the mindset, as Blair said.
Internet slang.
Exactly.
Well, and in a way, it's kind of what, the actual age demographic of the baby boomers did to millennials, because they call Gen X, they call millennials, and they call Gen Z, and they call Gen Alpha all millennials, because all it is someone younger than them, essentially, who is more open-minded or more interested in looking at, I don't want to be like who's more interested in looking at scientific data, but who's actually more interested in investigating the facts and drawing conclusions instead of just looking at one TV show and one opinion and be like, well, that's it for me. That's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
But, sometimes they'll use the criticism of millennials as people who don't want to do any work. They want to stay home. They complain about everything. Like that's, and it's, there is an entitled rich millennial that exists that oftentimes the criticism couched about millennials are people from like Orange County who are born into wealth, and they're, these kids that are, they deserve criticism, but they don't represent the vast majority of people that are our age based
Right,
on,
but that
what they support.
person or that type of person exists in every generation.
Yes,
That's not
yeah.
like millennial exclusive, because I'm pretty sure when I make this statement, most of us, if not all of us in here, plus everyone in the chats, probably knows that any kind of younger folks that they know or that they are all really hardworking people. All my friends work their asses off. All of us work our asses off every day just to pay bills at this point. You know, it's not even like to live some crazy, amazing life. We're all just working just to survive.
Avocado toast? Blair, you're not all over the avocado toast? It doesn't like dominate
What the
every
hell?
aspect of your life?
No, and you know what? Look,
No?
furthermore, this is really off topic, but someone ruined avocado toast for me because they said that they're like, why do people even like avocado? Because it tastes like dick.
Actually,
Wait, did they say it tastes like dick or clean dick?
I think clean dick.
Okay, because I've heard that actually.
Yes.
I've never heard
ruined
this.
it.
Oh
Next
my.
time you eat
Oh
avocado,
my.
think of it.
No
That's just
comment.
so
No comment.
specific.
No
Like who?
I have
comment.
not heard that, but I will think about that next time I have it. And see if I'll see if I
What,
agree.
dick or avocado?
All right.
That's such a weird random criticism there.
I know.
Observation.
I'll go back to some more serious questions here. So here's a question that's kind of asking.
Clean dick, Chad. Don't freak out. Clean dick. It's okay.
It was clean. Don't worry, y'all. It was fine.
All the boomers are freaking out in the audience right now.
These are why the millennials.
They love their avocados.
Now we know why.
I never did.
Some folks are asking us about the anti-shooter cube that showed up in classrooms. That was displayed. I'm sure you guys saw the video.
David, you got to show it. You got to show it. You got to see the visual. If you see the visual, you'll see the horror in real time.
the
anti-school
wall.
shooter cube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good
pulled
point.
out. A purely American problem.
Yeah, instead of any kind of comprehensive gun reform, why don't we invent these new slidable walls that will protect your kids as you fill your rooms with fucking kitty litter in case they need to shit because you're inside of a school for like 9+ hours? Like that's. I hope everyone knows, by the way, the kitty litter conspiracy theory. That's where it came from. Those kitty litter boxes were for mass shootings. If someone like if kids need to use a bathroom, that's how grim it is.
Here is the safe room in action. While it's simple to put into place, both teachers with one in their classroom said they keep them set up and students use them as sensory or hangout rooms. So, as opposed to just like, basic gun regulations.
Yeah. Right?
It's that easy.
I love how it's decorated with flowers too. That just adds to the dystopian nature.
Look how pretty it can be.
No,
Look how pretty our dystopian
this
nightmare is.
This is Black Mirror shit, okay? Pull it out for what it is, America. This is Black Mirror shit. You're seeing it in real time. Don't normalize this. Don't put the flowers on the fucking sides. God damn.
I'm actually surprised it took this long to like think up an idea like this because they've already done like backpacks like that are bulletproof. They have thought about putting armed guards in schools, like
Bulletproof blankets.
everything except for
Bulletproof
just basic regulations, basic gun regulations.
Isn't that the American way, though? Why solve the problem when we could just make more money off of it?
Exactly.
If anyone's curious, like,
True.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If anyone's
Merchandise it. Yeah.
I did a video on Canada's gun laws and how we do it here. I think a few years ago. If you just look up Canada, USA gun laws on my channel, you'll find it. It's like you can still have a gun here if you want, but you have to go through a whole process. There's a long waiting period. They do a proper background check. They talk to your
They
current
contact
partner,
your
previous
ex, by the
partners.
way.
Yeah, they contact your ex. They contact current partner. Like it's a whole as there should be.
Your ex or your current partner has to sign off on the gun, which is like yes, as like that because that is the majority of domestic shootings happen between partners or ex-partners. That's a good idea. Why not do that?
Yeah. So there's both like a license process and a registration for the gun. Like it's a whole thing as it should be. There's a training, there's proper training and all that.
Yeah, 2 days of training. You have to use like gun safety lessons and stuff like that. My friends have gotten it. It's very comprehensive. Teaches you a lot of the stuff you need to know to be able to handle a firearm. Like I'm not anti-firearm. Firearms are fun as fuck. Like I've shot lots of different kinds of guns. They're super super fun. I'm just saying they're also deadly. Their only purpose is to kill things. That's the only reason they exist. So we have licenses for cars. It worked out
Yeah,
a
it
little
seems
bit.
very normal to me.
Yeah.
To have proper process.
It sounds like you Canadians just want to take our guns. I'm sorry, that's all I hear.
All right, well, we've got Matt back, so now it is time for us to talk about banks and banks behaving badly.
So before we get into it, I just let you know I do have some videos prepped for that. So if you want, at some point, you can show that as well. I got Trump passing that deregulation. I got Bernie on the House floor fighting against it. I got Fox News and what they were saying at the time versus what they're saying now. So, Jim Cramer, I don't have him, but I did see that clip.
No.
But who wants to intro this?
So what's the any specific questions?
SVB.
Matt, I believe we're talking about SVB, which is your area of expertise. Tell us about how the rich fuck the poors and not make it like, don't make it sexy like. All right?
The
Just
question
tell us
related
about
to the bank
yeah.
was asking how the Silicon Bank collapse related to the crypto crash. That was kind of the biggest vibe of question being asked.
Okay, right. So basically, so Silicon Valley Bank was taken over by regulators on Friday. Basically, what happened was there was a bank run. They on last Wednesday they put out an announcement saying they were something like they needed to raise about like $2 billion plus in capital, and what had happened was in 2020 during the pandemic, all these tech companies started to boom, and a lot of VCs and investors started to throw around crazy amounts of money at these crazy companies that had no plans for any sort of revenue whatsoever. Number goes up all the time with these guys. And all this money was being kept basically at this one bank for the most part, Silicon Valley Bank. It's been a trusted bank for the industry for many decades. The reason is because startups open accounts there. The VCs open accounts there. The money very simply goes from one account to another account, instead of having to transfer and deal with multiple different banks. And also, this was a very founder-friendly bank as well. They often made stupid loans to founders. I think they gave like Mark Zuckerberg a loan or something for some huge property acquisition, where basically Mark Zuckerberg got a loan for free. They were extremely generous to founders. So anyway, the reason they asked for this, they announced that they needed to raise capital on Wednesday was because they made some stupid investments when they had all this money. Now, when all this money was sitting in their accounts due to the tech boom that came from the pandemic, they decided, holy shit, we have more money on hand than we've ever had before. Let's make that money work for us. So they invested in, mortgage-backed assets, treasury bonds, and at the time, that was a smart thing to do because it was a good investment. But again, these guys just think all the time number goes up. The same thing sort of happens with crypto, right? They always just assume numbers going up. So what happened was inflation started to happen. The Federal Reserve decided to raise interest rates. This affected the value of those treasury bonds, and they ended up losing something like $1.85 billion. They were down, I should say, $1.85 billion on their investment. And they decided to cut their losses and sell before they lost anything more. But they still announced that they needed to raise some money due to those losses. These VCs and tech founders see this, and they freak the fuck out. And in all these private channels, they start saying, we got to get our money out of there. So I think in a span of like 24 to 48 hours, something like $46 billion was withdrawn from the bank.
We got a bank run. Old-timey bank run. It's happening right now. Yeah.
Right. So by Friday, regulators had to step in and take over because they were running out of capital. They couldn't make good on those withdrawals. And VCs started to freak out. The people who didn't take both the people who didn't take their money out and VCs who were like supportive of the industry, like David Sachs and Jason Calacanis, to Elon Musk and Peter Thiel Associates. And they started going nuts about how, for one, Silicon Valley Bank had a lot of big money accounts, because we're dealing with founders and startups. So a lot of people had a good chunk of change in their accounts. And if you don't know, FDIC insurance states that the first $250,000 in any bank account at any bank is insured. So like anyone on this show or watching the show, most likely, never has to worry about one of our like the bank where we keep our money going under, because up to $250,000 of our money is insured. The bank could go under. They could lose the actual money we gave them. Don't worry, the government will step in, and the FDIC insured funds will reimburse us, and we'll get whatever money we lost in that bank back immediately. No problems, no questions asked. A lot of these banks had way more. A lot of these accounts at this bank had way more than 250,000. I think this bank something ridiculous, like 70 or 80% of the funds at this bank were uninsured. So people were starting to freak out that they weren't going to get their money. Now, these guys really upped the ante with the fear mongering, because it should be said that no one was going to lose like all their money. Basically, what would happen, worst case scenario, was that people would get that first $250,000 that's insured in full, and then those VCs and those founders and those startups and those small businesses who had more than $250,000, they probably, when all things were said and done, and assets were sold, and the bank was sold out for parts or acquired, they probably would have got back something like, who knows, 80, 90 cents on the dollar. So no one was going to be out everything over $250,000. They may have been out a few, maybe a few thousand, a few 100,000, but we're talking big money accounts here. So these guys, though, were making it seem like if the government didn't bail out these depositors, then Main Street America was next, and this was going to cause a domino effect where everyone was going to rush to their bank, seeing what happened to Silicon Valley Bank, and they were going to all start pulling out their money, and there was going to be bank run after bank run after bank run, taking out regional banks all across America. Of course, that didn't happen. It was basically only Silicon Valley Bank that was affected here. And of course, though, because this fear-mongering,
No,
I'm sure...
there was another bank, too. Didn't
That's,
the U.S. acquire a secondary bank?
There was two other banks that fell that same week, but not because of Silicon Valley Bank. There was no contagion. It wasn't because of Silicon Valley Bank that these two other banks... It was a domino effect. The economy didn't collapse. Yes. Maybe the atmosphere with the atmosphere where people just saw SVB created an atmosphere that made regulators step in when they did for Signature Bank. But there was also another bank, Silvergate, that closed up shop before SVB failed, that had way more in common with Signature Bank than it had in common with Silicon Valley Bank. I'll get to that in a second. But what ended up happening is Biden and the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department ended up stepping in and saying, okay, you know what? We're going to use these funds that banks have been forced to pool together for these reasons, and we were going to basically make sure all of the depositors get 100% of their money. So VCs got their way. VCs absolutely showed who was boss in this country and who this country truly steps in to help as soon as possible. And it's not the little people, it's venture capital, of course. Because if you think about it, we bailed out the banks in 2008, but we still let Main Street America lose their homes and get foreclosed on. There was no one swooping in to bail out those individuals the same way.
Matt, I hear you, but I heard that this was because the bank was woke. Okay, apparently there was a woman CEO or some shit. Apparently her moon's blood, it synced up with all the other women, and then the bears arrived. No one told us this was going to happen. Okay, it was wokeism. It was woke from the start.
I got a video on that later, by the way, if you want to bring that up.
Right. I mean, it's obviously it's bullshit. All corporate America over the past couple of years has been rolling out diversity initiatives. Obviously, the idea behind that is not bullshit, but these corporations actually rolling out substantial diversity initiatives is bullshit. If you look at the executives at Silicon Valley Bank, all old white men. There was, I think, the person they keep pointing to is the chief risk officer or marketing officer or something like that. Was a woman from India or something, and she was the head of
a diversity hire.
Yeah, bullshit. I mean, give me a break.
It's her fault. This all happened.
This,
yeah.
They could.
Wait, is there a woman? Did a woman do something? Oh, yeah, it's a woman. Definitely a woman did this. Come on,
They keep saying
not greed.
that word
Unchecked
woke.
greed.
Lance, you keep saying that word woke. What does that mean to you? Can you define that?
Well, I mean, in this case, it's literally the one Indian woman. I mean, that's exactly what they mean.
I know this one's going to go viral. Okay, I know this one's going to go viral.
Take your
Thing I
time.
don't like. Thing I don't like. Thing I don't like.
Okay.
I'm going to go with thing I don't like. Thing I don't like. Yeah,
Fair.
thing I don't like. That's woke. At any given time, thing I don't like is woke. That's what woke means.
So as for these other two banks, so basically, before, literally like a day or two before regulators took over Silicon Valley Bank, a bank called Silvergate shut down, and they actually voluntarily closed up shop because they were trying to avoid a situation like this. They actually have all the funds necessary to make depositors whole. Last time I checked, but what was happening with them is that Silvergate a couple of years ago, there was like this regional bank who decided that there's a real opportunity here in becoming the bank for cryptocurrency. And they basically became an institution that pretty much solely served the crypto exchanges, the crypto companies, and lo and behold, it turned out to be a bad bet because all these companies failed. They were having some issues, not just money-wise with their clients, but also regulatory issues, and so they ended up closing a couple days before SVB. And this was known for months that this bank was struggling. Same thing with Signature Bank, the bank that regulators did take over. They announced that right after, like a day or two after SVB was taken over by regulators, and people tried to use that as proof that there was some sort of contagion. No, Signature Bank had way more in common with Silvergate. Signature Bank was another bank that they weren't totally crypto, but they were known for being extremely crypto friendly. They had a lot of crypto clients, and one specific client they had, which I think probably is going to cause them a lot of problems, and why why actually the federal government has required that any company that acquires Signature Bank, because Signature Bank is now on the auction block, they cannot serve any crypto clients if they take over Signature Bank. This is part of the auction. The buyer cannot serve crypto clients. And that's because one of Signature Bank's clients was FTX. And Signature Bank was especially crypto friendly because they had what was known as the Signet blockchain. They were running this blockchain that, basically helped these crypto exchanges work more in tandem with the sort of institutional banking that Signature Bank provided. And it's been discovered that through this blockchain, the Signet blockchain run by Signature Bank, FTX was doing a lot of their money moving between the FTX exchange and Alameda Research, their hedge fund. And this money moving is what ended up getting FTX in a lot of trouble, because what FTX was doing was they were sending customer deposits at FTX to their hedge fund, and their hedge fund was then making risky investments with those customer deposits and just fucking losing them because they were being dumb as shit. And they were basically in like the negative. They were losing their customers' money. So Signature Bank is probably in a lot of trouble because this shouldn't have been happening. There should have been red flags warning Signature Bank to this. So either Signature Bank was failing in terms of what they needed to do. There's various different rules around KYC, know your customer, having details of your customer that they either failed to uphold to, or worst case scenario is that they fucking knew that FTX was doing this and was letting them do it, and we're in on it in some way. And this is obviously something that's going to be investigated. It'll come out. But Silvergate and Signature Bank closed for long known reasons, months in the making, that they were struggling because of their crypto friendliness, their crypto clients. SVB closed for a completely separate reason, but I do think it is notable that all three do share that they primarily served the tech industry, whether it was crypto or the risky startup world where VCs are just throwing money at bullshit startups, like the Uber for public restrooms and the Uber for fucking I don't know, cum factories or some shit. So yeah, that's pretty much the story of what happened. And if you'll see, no other bank has gone under yet. There has been some banks that have had some troubles. I think Credit Suisse or whatever the fuck they're called in Europe has been dealing with some issues. But also, it should be pointed out that on Monday when the stock market opened, all the bank stocks tanked on opening, and people were trying to run with that being proof of a contagion, that this was the beginning of something that was going to spread. And I just want to say straight up, it's fucking bullshit. You can't go. That's what a contagion is. A contagion would mean that the bank run at SVB caused other banks to suffer bank runs, which means that on Monday people were en masse withdrawing their money from banks, just taking money out, fucking over the whole system. That's not what happened. A contagion is not a bunch of investors decided to either try to manipulate the market so they could short a bunch of stocks, or just they started selling their bank stocks based on feelings and the sentiment in the air. That's not how the economy works. The stock market is not the economy.
What do you think the response from the White House?
How long
They
has this bit been? I'm high, and so again, you know how time moves. So I'm like, I've been unclear. How long have we been in this segment?
There's a lot to talk about here. It was a big story this week. Yeah, it's multifaceted for sure, and it's confusing. Honestly, I mean, it took me a number of tries.
Admittedly, to confirm the suspicions in the comments. No, I don't know what we are talking about. I haven't locked correct. That's why I'm quiet. But in my defense, I couldn't jump in if I wanted to because if I look up during a Binder segment, I'm not qualified to talk. I have nothing I can add to the conversation. I saw the comments and they were like, Olay, question marks, like Olay's gonna, and I looked up and I was like, oh, I should try to tap in. And I heard crypto. I was like, oh, I can't. I have to write it out.
Right. To answer Dave's question, the federal government, the White House should have just let it play out how it's supposed to play out. We all have, you, me, everyone here, if we got very lucky in life and made $250K and put it in a bank, all that money is insured no matter what happens to the bank we put it in. That money is ours, and the insurance would come back to us. We would have that $250,000 no matter what. We wouldn't lose that. But say we saved up for retirement, and we somehow saved up $300,000-$400,000 for our retirement, put it in a bank account. Our bank went under. Guess what? We would have lost a certain percentage of that extra $50K or extra $100K or extra $150K. No White House would have come out to help us, working retirees who just managed to save up over the years or whatever and put it in a bank account. There would have been no mass run to make sure we were all made whole in the following business day. The system should have played out exactly how it should have. There are a lot of people who know that's how the system works, and they actually, people who have way more than $250,000, and they actually pay attention to this. And I think I forgot that basketball player from Greece, I think he's from Greece, which is why he knows about failing banks. I heard that he took from his money, which is tens of millions of dollars, he opened 20 or 30 bank accounts and put $250K in each account. Well, guess what? The way it works is $250K in each account at each bank you have it at is covered. So if you open up, if you have $1 million and you want to make sure it's all FDIC insured, just open up one account at 4 different banks and split it up 4 ways, and you're good.
Why does everyone just do that? That has money, that seems like
right.
The argument from founders and startups and business people is that in order to make payroll, some companies have to have more than $250K in their account at a time. But also, there are business services that insure more than $250K. You just have to be aware of them, and they probably do cost some sort of fee or money because it's an extra service. It's not like the default that every consumer bank does. So basically, they just need to pay attention and fucking work with a bank that covers this sort of stuff, provides them insurance to cover this sort of stuff.
I just want to point this out as well.
Yeah.
since you brought up David Sachs, Ro Khanna is deserving of some criticism here. He has been cheerleading for the bailout and is an upcoming fundraiser with David Sachs, who has given to, or has been a part, I guess, worked with Peter Thiel, has given to J.D. Vance, has given to Ron DeSantis, and he sees something in Ro Khanna. So it's, I don't know if disappointing is the word, because Ro Khanna has moments where he voted against he voted for the bill that was like something about fear mongering around socialism. Like he has these weird moments where he plays both sides. He does this on a constant basis. It's just, this is not somebody. I mean, he represents Silicon Valley, understanding where he comes from and what he's, who his audience is. But yeah, this is not.
It's a huge red flag.
Really trust. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows who his constituents are. He serves that whole tech sector. They are his constituents. So, I mean, he's long been in big tech's, in service. I mean, there's a system in place for exactly what happened at SVB, and it should have been let to play out. And if you're, pitying the small businesses or startups that bank with them, again, they wouldn't have lost everything because SVB wasn't completely broke. They just were like a couple $1 billion in the hole, and they were holding on to hundreds of billions of dollars of cash before all those withdrawals came about. But I mean, again, we're talking, you would have got that first $150K, and then you would have had, 80 cents on the dollar for the rest of those millions you have in your account. And that's how the system is meant to work out. If you have a problem with it, I said there's other systems where you get institutions that provide you with more insurance for higher amounts of money. All I know is that this would not have happened if we were affected by it. It just wouldn't. If people like you and me and everyone who watches this show were in that same boat, there would not have been a race to make sure we were whole. I mean, we fucking, just a couple of years ago, we fucking shut everything down and gave everybody, what, $1,000 every, 5 months or something? Yeah. Like,
what did you get total as Americans? What did Americans get total? $1,600 each from Trump? Was that it?
I think it was a little bit more.
Yeah, we got $1,200 with
between
the first
Trump and
check. And then the second check, we got...
It was going to be $2,000, but it ended up being something else. I think it was...
Right, we got a $600 check from Trump for the second one. And then the, I think, $1,200.
$2,000 total.
Yeah, it wasn't very much. I mean, it was more than any of us, I think, expected. But it was still shit compared to other countries.
And I should say the argument is that the bailout money for these depositors is not coming from government funds. It's coming from this pool of money that banks have been forced to pay into since 2008 or whatever for scenarios where emergency funds are needed or whatever for situations where a bank would fail or something like that. But they're not. First of all, they're not earmarked for this specific situation as far as I've read. And then second of all, the idea that the banks will just let this money come out of these funds and not look for new ways to replenish those funds via fees to customers like you or I is bullshit. We already know that's where they look to make as much money as possible when something like this happens. Oh, we're going to hit customers with all sorts of fees. Growing up, there was no mandatory minimum. Maybe I'm showing my age here, but there was no mandatory minimum of having to have $100 in your bank account at all times, or you get hit with a fee. It's ridiculous. They're looking for all sorts of new ways to hit people with fees, and it's all because of reasons like this. They make a bad investment. They're required to do something by regulators, and people are like, oh, they're getting punished or they're facing the consequence. No, they're not, because another thing, SVB literally paid out bonuses to their executives days before the regulators took over. These guys always get paid. These guys always make out. These guys always get rewards for destroying the institution that they're in charge of.
Crime every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's wild. It's there's after a certain financial crisis, let's say 2008, should someone be held accountable? Should someone I know there's multiple things happening simultaneously. There's obviously predatory loans that are being taken on by minorities and poor people and stuff like that who are suddenly able to buy a house for the first time, but suddenly they're offered 2 houses. Yeah, probably not a great situation, probably not sustainable. But what about people who are basically taking these, combining them into like, hey, you should bet on the over under on whether or not these are all going to default. You should take default mortgages and look at that and be like, hey, let's gamble on that shit. Shouldn't this be illegal? A lot of it. Shouldn't it be illegal to take out what $3.3 million in stock before this happens, right? Like the SVB guy did. Like he was straight up like, I'm going to take out a whole bunch of my own money and then just oh shit.
Biden said he would hold them accountable. Biden's going to hold them accountable.
Right. I mean, Elizabeth Warren went out this week and she said it perfectly, honestly. She basically just straight up said, and I think it's the easiest way to understand this. Banking should be boring. These banks should not be making risky investments with our money because, again, that's what they're betting with. Mm-hmm. They're betting with the money that you deposit there. Your money doesn't sit like when you go to a bank, and I think most of our audience probably knows this, but just to reiterate, when you put money in a bank, the actual dollars you put in that bank don't fucking like sit in an account labeled like Matt Binder or David Dole or Olay or Lance. No, they fucking just put a number. Yeah, like the physical money's not sitting there. They fucking put a number, like a computer number, in your account in like a file on their servers, and they fucking take that actual money and pull it all together and make investments with it so they can make money for themselves off of your money. And when they fail and go under, they make sure to serve their executives right away and give them all the bonuses from the leftover money they have. Then they go, oh, well, no money for everybody else. You're all fucked.
And
I got a PSA.
They will keep doing that as long as they're allowed to, right? Like that's why you need regulation in place. That's why that's the only way to control them. They're not going to be like, oh, okay, we're not going to gamble with your money because we're nice people. Like they're not. If they're allowed to do it, they're going to do it. So you have to put restrictions in place, and all of these. I can show you this video. This is when they did the deregulation in 2018 that at least in some way, according to many, it led to this collapse. But a lot of these Republicans were out talking about how this is a great idea, we should all do this, and then of course when the shit hit the fan, the blame is going elsewhere. So
while David's loading that up, can I do a PSA for all of you? Take your money out of banks and join credit unions. Find a good credit union in your area. Credit unions are cooperatively owned by all the members of the credit union. Every single year, I get to vote on who runs the credit union that I'm a part of, and also where the money that they use their investments for goes, as in what projects for, stuff like that. It's way more awesome. Take your money out of mainstream banks and join a good, research it first, a good credit union in your area.
Lance fomenting a bank run right here on the show. The people refer to this tomorrow. It's going to be in the news. The collective Leftist Mafia audience took out $10 and a ham sandwich from their combined bank accounts.
This is their whole plan to collapse the economy.
President Trump to emerge, he'll be signing legislation that essentially rolls back some of the restrictions of Dodd-Frank.
Not a full dismantle of Dodd-Frank, but a big win for the administration.
There's going to be a lot of rejoicing in Smallville as a result.
I think this benefits the community banks, the regional banks, more than anybody else.
It's a very good decision.
A little rollback indeed. This is good stuff. Take the brakes off and let the money flow once again.
Part of the Dodd-Frank repealed. I mean, this is good stuff.
Regulation is a tool for the incumbent company or business owner to use against the small little guy. And then you saw that at the financial crisis as well as Dodd-Frank. The big banks got bigger. They had no penalty to pay. And the small little local community banks got completely run over.
Is this the Silicon Valley collapse, the beginning of the collapse of the woke economy?
This is really the first bank failure that was caused by adherence to woke beliefs and policies.
The senior vice president of risk management at the bank was heavily focused on LGBTQ plus programs.
Because you want a bank that cares about carbon emissions. And of course, there's endless posturing, because it's all free, about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Silicon Valley Bank is a woke Biden bank. They were holding seminars on Lesbian Visibility Day and Pride Month.
Hey, Silicon Valley Bank, is diversity still your strength right now?
It's time to stop with the climate change and all the woke issues instead of focusing on the main mission of the
climate
bank.
change,
And you do have these banks focusing on ESG and on all of these sort of woke policies, if you will. LGBTQ month of activities just before the bank collapse.
Maybe the executive should have been celebrating LGBTQ week with all that gay sex instead of like what
lesbian seminars. Lesbian
Fox News, by
seminars.
the way, Fox
What
News
is
has a whole
going
page on equity and inclusivity and like they have a whole page about this. They have a whole page about diversity. Here they are like complaining about that's what took them down. They could say that about any company now that goes down. There's going to be a page about diversity on the site because every company does this. So they could just go, oh, that's why. It's because they were doing diversity. That's why they went down. It's so in your face racist, in your face bigoted. It's just ridiculous.
No, it absolutely is. It's absolutely. And hold on, who had it? Someone had a really good piece today, about the claim that like, all right, here it is. Okay, so from Judd Legum's Popular Information newsletter. One of the things that here I'll drop it in the so you could pull it up on the screen while I'm reading it. One of the things Fox News has been running with, especially Jesse Waters apparently, is that Silicon Valley Bank donated $74 million to Black Lives Matter. And they're using this as proof that, like, oh, they were just throwing money around and that's why they ran out of money. Granted, I should say that if you have something like $160 billion to work with your bank, $74 million is very, very small. But regardless, Judd Legum did some research into these claims, and it turns out they're not even true. They didn't even donate shit to Black Lives Matter. Basically, the right-wing database that made this claim was put together by the Claremont Institute, which is a right-wing organization, I should say. And they consider donations to BLM to be donations to any organization and initiative that advances one or more aspects of the BLM agenda. So not even Black Lives Matter, actually. 50 million of that 73 million, according to Judd, comes from a pledge the bank made in 2021 on an internal initiative, a program to connect women, Black people, and Latinos with funding, networking, and development in the VC ecosystem. The money was to be spent over 5 years. So again, 50 million of that 73 million they're claiming went to Black Lives Matter actually went to an internal SVB initiative. It went to the bank itself. Second of all,
that's so woke. So woke.
The other amount that Claremont says was BLM related was a donation to support additional COVID-19 relief and establish full ride needs-based at 4 universities. It's just, and then there was an additional $250,000 in donations apparently to the NAACP and ACLU. I mean,
there's nothing here.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, ridiculous.
I hate y'all's part of the internet. That's what I've learned. I don't know how y'all make. I don't know how y'all make it. I realize like it is.
We don't.
It is so hard. Like I like when I've been tuning into a lot of y'all's like I honestly watch all y'all's content, and I joined on a Binder stream, like a live stream, and I caught it right at the fucking end, like right when he was like bye. I was like, damn. But I've been watching everybody's content, and I was like, oh Jesus, they really be rapid. I was like, they really be rapid responding to things that are giving me anxiety. I was like, and when I figured out a way to create my show around continuing to exist in my, I was like, I'm only gonna talk about what fuck what they're talking. I'm just gonna do. Should I care about?
Wait, just
do your thing.
No, but I love it though. I like literally watch y'all now to catch up on shit. I told you I jumped into Serfs today, and I was like, oh, David's talking. I'm gonna get all this story.
Olayemi.
Your anxiety may increase.
Did you see that Steven Crowder quote tweeted you? The Steven Crowder.
What? No,
really?
You know what's crazy?
Yeah, that happened.
That is actually fucking hilarious because no, I didn't. I had no idea. Oh, did he?
Oh,
wait, what's the tweet? Pull it up. Pull it up.
I'm looking for it.
Someone said something to me. I saw something mentioned Crowder, but I was just like, what the fuck are people talking? I just thought it was like, I don't even know, but it was like Crowder. It was like a Mimi joke. Oh yes, one of your mods said something to me.
Okay, I see it.
He took issue with your use of the word "withering whites."
You should have.
Withering white.
You should have pretended to not even be able.
Oh, I meant that. Oh, that's what? That first of all, that's a bar. Real rap bars, nigga. Yes, withering whites. Yes. Excellent. That was a beautiful tweet. Let me see. It was a viral one. Oh, and you can ratio me, baby. I love to see it. 913.
Oh, yeah, not even close.
Mhm.
He got like
Not
that.
even close.
Look at that.
Not even close.
9.1K
I just
to
want to
913.
the fact
Wow.
that I didn't even fucking notice. Like I tell you, these people mean nothing to me. I had no idea.
This is a
And my
pimple on your ass right
algorithm
here. This
didn't
is
even
nothing.
think I gave a fuck. It didn't even show me. I didn't show up in my verified. I didn't even see it. I didn't even know. And could not ratio me. Ain't that something? Love to
Well,
see it.
you know why though? That's because Twitter is suppressing conservatives. That's what's happening.
True.
That's
True.
so funny. Withering Rights was a bar, but she was withering, wasn't she? I do recall. I was just. I first of all, he needs to really respect my alliteration. Like you love that. You know, it was a bar. You felt that. Yeah, look
I don't want to scroll down even further.
Ooh, look at my followers. Yes, baby, with a ring, child.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, bars. Yeah, that's some of my finest work, actually.
We didn't talk about the Oscars though. I just realized we didn't talk about the Oscars. It was big. There's a big thing this week, right?
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
I didn't watch it either, but I paid attention to who won and everything.
You know, I got a better question. Is Gengar Olay's favorite Pokemon? That's the better question here.
Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's Gengar, Jigglypuff, and Raichu.
I feel like we got to ask everybody now. Who's everyone's favorite Pokemon? We got to pick one Olay. Who's your one favorite?
That's really each of those Pokemon.
I'm so ready to go.
The first Pokemon I ever loved was Raichu. I'm gonna say that's the first Pokemon I ever saw myself. Because me and my grandma used to watch Pokemon every day, right? And I remember we never was really fucking with Pikachu like that. But the day Raichu showed up, it was an episode of Pikachu was super pressed. And here comes a brown, so he's automatically black. Raichu version of Pikachu. We're like, my nigga. Listen, I love Raichu off the rip. Me and my grandma was in the house like, let's fucking go. So yeah. But present and then Jigglypuff I loved in high school because I love the fact that Jigglypuff has no fucking interest in being a Pokemon. My bitch just wants to be a singer, and the hilariousness and my girl's just trying to sing and people are fucking knocked out KO and she is sick. That's the original bad bitch with a career. And Gengar, I mean, that's
Gengar's pretty good. I like Gengar. He's not my favorite, but he's up there. He's up there.
Yeah, so it's I'm gonna go with Gengar present day, but y'all understand where all the love stem from. I love me some fucking Pokemon.
Who are you gonna
like
say,
Snorlax.
Lance?
Snorlax.
Oh, Dave's
Just-
got Snorlax.
No, I hate you. Ah.
I knew it.
I was like biting at the bit. Yeah, I don't know. He's having a great time. He's chilling out. He looks
Yeah,
happy.
he's just relaxing. He's good.
Like,
Snorlax.
Mike?
I have a pug, and Bulbasaur reminds me of a pug, so I love Bulbasaur. I've always loved Bulbasaur. Also Charmander.
Blair?
Honestly, Ninetales, she was just so fire. Well, I just
Oh,
literally-
I have that for my dog. I have
You
that.
nerd.
Oh my god, Bulbasaur!
It's adorable. Yeah. How could you not love Bulbasaur?
He's pretty good. So we got Blair had you said Ninetales, right? That's a good one.
Yeah, Ninetales.
David, can you share Snorlax with me? Can we share Snorlax?
You can share
I don't know
Snorlax.
if I can do it.
I also
Okay,
like. I
thank
mean,
you.
I also like Mewtwo back in the day, like kind of mysterious and like until
Too
we saw
Alright.
more of Mewtwo. But at the beginning, it was like, oh, Mewtwo, what's up with Mewtwo?
My fave.
Mewtwo curious.
My fave, Scyther. Gotta go with Scyther.
He's cool.
Scyther, yeah.
Scyther.
I can see you like Scyther.
Do y'all remember that 2000 like Pokemon the movie?
Of course, of course. He did.
Yeah,
He did.
So, do y'all not remember how cool Mewtwo was in that movie? Like, I know he was supposed to be
yeah.
a bad guy. He was on to something.
Oh, you thought he was cool? You was fucking with him?
Yes, he knew what was going on. He's like, people are fucking messed up. We're gonna go away to a safe place with Pokemon where we can actually be free and stuff. And fuck you guys, and you're destructing everything. I was like,
No, I've always been a bitch to love an antagonist. Like deep in my spirit, I always did, right? Like I love Scar, like Ursula, like all of them. I've always been an antagonist type of bitch. But Mewtwo never. I don't know why. I don't know why Mewtwo gives me supreme white man. Like he give me and maybe it's so sleek. It's giving Lex Luthor-y. Like it just don't seem like somebody. But I don't know. But hold on. That's just based on vibes. because he's the antagonist, I'm sure that if I go sit down and go run it back, you're probably right, Blair. I just
No. I
remember
haven't watched
the
this in years.
vibe being sinister about Mewtwo. Maybe it's because Mewtwo was out here trying to kill. Like Mewtwo wasn't. He was just was. It was too like I didn't like feeling like all my niggas was in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like you just knew Mewtwo was gonna figure everybody out.
You know what? I'm gonna go rewatch the movie. I need a new opinion. I'm gonna go rewatch that sometime this week.
Since we're
Also,
talking about,
I want to say that we all
sinister Pokemon. Can we just bring up the fact that it is
We all
undeniable
aged
that Mr. Mime is a pedophile? That is
Well, thank you, Mike,
undeniable.
Now we're all demonetized.
Anyway, I was just gonna say we all ate. I was gonna say we all aged ourselves because all of our favorite Pokemons are within the original 150.
I didn't even.
I only played the Game Boy games. I can't have Pokemon Valor. I don't have it. I've only played the Game Boy games. I haven't played all the other shit. If you guys are gonna go off on Pokemon, I can only talk about Game Boy. That's the
I
extent
couldn't
of
name
my-
you a single one past the 150. I have no idea.
Someone in the Rational National chat commented, "World is burning. Who's your
Yeah, I
favorite
saw
Pokemon?
that.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?" But I gotta say,
How dare
and this is
anyone
gonna
have
piss
any
off.
fun ever.
This is gonna piss off that person a lot. When I first saw that comment, my brain automatically read it within the same cadence of those back from commercial Pokemon segments. I automatically read it as "World is burning. Who's your favorite Pokemon?"
Well, if it makes them feel any better, the world is burning, and I also posted a video today about how Ron DeSantis reportedly ate a full thing of pudding with just his fingers on a plane. So, you know,
Take him down.
sometimes something just speaks to you.
Fascism won't take him
Sorry,
down, but
what?
eating pudding with 3 fingers will take him down.
Yeah.
No, I don't know this. Wait, what happened?
So he is apparently a very he's not very social skilled, if we'll put it politely, and he's a pig, and he eats in front of people in a very gluttonous manner, and in one instance,
Like food everywhere. Apparently, like he eats like food spread everywhere.
shit
like, he takes
everywhere.
it
That's
back.
like an actual quote from the article. Shit everywhere.
child.
Basically, Ron DeSantis likes to practice in a snack pack. Okay, that's basically.
And so I love this story because it reminded me of the 2019 story about how Amy Klobuchar berated one of her staff members, and then she ate her salad with a comb, and then screamed at them and told them to clean off the comb that she used to eat her salad with. So this reminded me of that. So it was like a little bit of nostalgia, like back to the good old days in 2019 when the left was united and we could have had a Bernie president. So that's why the DeSantis story spoke to me.
When I hear things like that, I feel like I have to jump in just because I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to show y'all how crazy America's criminal system is. Because I've represented somebody in criminal fucking court charged with menacing for eating a fucking yogurt with a goddamn like plastic like a butter knife. Yes, menacing.
Wow.
Yes, fucking sing. So I just wanted you to say just like things that white people just get off, just be doing and shit. Just work. Yeah. Yo, you do that in black, and they're like, something's fucking wrong. That nigga is I confirm. Get him. Please fucking get him. Like, please get him. Like that's literally how that fucking goes. Because I've definitely
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. I've learned things tonight.
It was a case I got it as a transfer case that had been open for a year. This white attorney had it before me, this white public defender that had the like client in and out of like treatment court like all year for like a year on this bullshit stupid fucking case because their paternalistic mindset like like you're like yo like something is wrong with the you just got help because he's in. I'm like I get this case and I'm like I don't give a this is the most facially insufficient shit I've ever like I'm getting this dismissed. And I remember they had like it was like paternalistic family too, like trying to meet with me to tell me like, oh no, like have him in court. I'm like, right. Look at the client. I'm like, you want this fucking case dropped? Would you like to see this dismissed? Like lock in. Lock in. Fuck what they talking about. We motion practicing this bitch and dismissed and sealed. I just want to say, but stupid. That's the stupid shit in court for a year for eating fucking yogurt with a butter knife. That's it. That's my contribution. I don't got nothing else to say. That's it.
That's the perfect end of that little segment because goddamn.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
there's
you
no
do read
follow-up to
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about this. I think I posted the link in our private chat earlier. But Michael Knowles, who is the culture warrior at the Daily Wire, so he was in a student film. I don't know how long ago it was. Let me see, 10 years ago now. And credit to actual Jake for finding this. I saw this through his channel. But there's some degeneracy. If you want to go to the minute 9:35 mark, 9:35, you will see Michael Knowles give in to the woke Hollywood agenda.
Yes. The mind virus is strong.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy? Gonna vom?
No.
You afraid to go inside? It's not that. I can leave.
That was. Thanks. Have you not done it with men? Mind if we don't get into that? Oh yeah, sure. That's not a lot, is it? Can I get a towel?
Okay.
Yeah, that's degeneracy right there. He needs to ask Jesus for forgiveness.
I can't imagine why Michael Knowles' acting career didn't take off. All the talent.
I know.
How many of these freaks have tried it in Hollywood and failed? Ben Shapiro tried to be a scriptwriter, didn't work out.
Yep.
Stephen Crowder was a child actor, didn't work out. Michael Knowles, Dave Rubin tried to be a comedian, didn't work out. All of these people have failed in entertainment and then turn out to be find a way to be famous by being a piece of shit. Like this is a consistent theme.
David, can you bring up the YouTube comments to that video, by the way?
Okay, so while he's pulling that up, just so everyone knows who's watching at home, Michael Knowles is one of the people at CPAC who acts like a really big, strong fascist who will be like, we need to eradicate transgenderism from public life. And then all of a sudden, all these newspapers are like, wow, so he says that trans people need to be eradicated. And he's like, oh, no, I never said trans people. I said trans ideology. Ooh, don't worry. It's not as bad as you think it is. They all back this shit up. They're the biggest cowards. They want to play fascist for CPAC. They want to play fascist for all these big fucking events. And then as soon as you call them out on it, they back the fuck off every time.
Yep.
Can you sort by new? Because I left one an hour ago.
There it is.
I'm outraged that a trusted Daily Wire host would spread woke propaganda. This is no different than woke Hollywood. Michael Knowles needs to apologize immediately and ask Jesus for forgiveness, or I'm canceling my Daily Wire Plus subscription. Degeneracy has no place in conservative circles. There are a lot of comments that are, bringing up how he's, obviously a propagandist. This is just
He's also a Drake performer, by the way. That was also
right.
revealed. He's done Drake.
Wait,
a Drake?
Yes,
a Drake performer. Oh, so you've heard of these people. No, Drake. Oh yeah. I wish
I heard Drake initially too. He's a Drake performer.
Okay, so Drake. I mispronounced everything. Not Drake. Sorry, Drake performer.
Michael Knowles and 21
You're
Savage.
still saying
album.
Drag, bitch. Drag.
He was Elizabeth Warren. He played Elizabeth Warren. That's just canon. That's a part of the story. You have to add that to everything else too.
That's some woke propaganda that he's peddling.
Do you have the clip?
I think there's just a
I don't
photograph,
have that. I
right?
don't know where that is.
Or is there a video? Because I'd love to see the video.
There's video. It's very boring. He's really bad. He's not a good drag performer. It's terrible.
I believe it's not worth watching. I mean, this is these people his interest in his name in searches. I think that TYT covered this, and both on YouTube and Google spiked immediately after his whole spiel at CPAC about trans people. But funnily enough, he made some tweet this week about this, trying to reinvigorate the discussion about him, and it got 500 likes, and he has almost 1 million followers. So the best way to troll these people is reply to them about how weak their game is. I replied to him saying, "Yo, bro, you got 1 million followers and not 500 likes on this tweet. Clearly people have lots of interest in your grift. That, because that's all this is about for them. They want to, the whole comment, everything. It's all about to get interest, to get people searching their name, to get them watching the videos. And if if there's examples of them having very little attention, then you got to jump on that and make them feel shitty for it, because that's why they're in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they thrive on attention. It's called negative engagement farming, where they'll say intentionally outrageous things that they know will make people mad, and it's how they elevate their names. They know that most people are going to be outraged by what they're saying, but what matters is that they get their names out there. That's how they build an audience. This is why there's so many people who I think we kind of have to ignore, because this is how they get famous.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they do, and it's just so corny.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would be so embarrassed of myself in my house. I'd die of fucking secondhand shame.
It's desperate. It's desperate. I mean, your family sees this. They know that you're being disingenuous. Like, people can see through you. Most people know that.
Mike, don't slip past that hot joke. Mike said your family sees this.
Like, what are they gonna think, right?
Slip that in.
Like, cause my mom watches my shit. It's like, I want my mom to be proud. Like, do you not think of like who's gonna see you and they're gonna know you're full of shit?
Yeah.
Mike said your family sees you getting ratioed for attention. You should be ashamed. Mike said, "Are you not disgusted?"
What would your mother think? Do you kiss your mom with that mouth?
That's true.
All right, I'll
sorry, Blair. Go
this
ahead.
evening. No. I'm trying to keep us kind of on rails. So since I know this takes us a bit to get there, let's discuss who is being canceled and uncanceled for this week.
Mm.
Do we have any suggestions for the ring?
I should think about this before we get I don't think about this at all week until you ask the question, and I feel like I should prepare.
And we do it. You know what's ridiculous? That it's been like 14 weeks now, and we
None of us prepare
created
apparently.
it
I mean,
on the
sometimes
first
there's
day
somebody.
of the show, and we do it every
don't have
single
it
time.
right.
We're not prepared, not one fucking time.
Our longest running segment.
I feel like something will pop in my head and be like, oh, of course this person, and it never does.
Uh-huh.
Nobody comes to mind.
Somebody popped in my head this week, but I forgot. So
you got to write that down.
I know. Well, I see it popped into my head when I was doing cat litter, so my hands were dirty, so I couldn't write it down or anything, and I forgot. That's when all the great ideas come to me. Is when I'm cleaning
Here you
cat
go.
litter.
I have one that includes a video because I can't think of an answer.
Let's do it.
I'm going to cancel Cal Penn because he did a terrible job here interviewing Joe Biden. This was here we go.
I have an uncancel.
So this is Joe Biden answering a question about gay marriage, and like this Biden answer is so ridiculous, and there was no pushback here. But let's watch. I gotta refresh the screen.
Yeah, Ellen broke Twitter, so videos just don't function properly.
Yeah,
beyond disappointed that there hasn't been a wedding yet, but Cardi B is going to marry us. Apparently, officiate our wedding.
Let me jump to the actual
resolution was like on marriage equality and what the federal government might be able to do to protect LGBTQ Americans, especially trans kids who are dealing with all these regressive state laws that are popping up right now.
I can remember exactly where my epiphany was.
Okay.
I hadn't thought much about it, to tell you the truth. And I was a senior in high school. And my dad was dropping me off. I remember about to get out of the car, and I looked to my right, and two well-dressed men in suits kissed each other. I mean, they gave each other a kiss. And then one looked like he was heading to the DuPont building, one looked like he headed to the Hercules Corporation building. And
This
I
did
never
not
forget,
happen.
I turned and looked at my dad.
I know.
He said, Joe, it's simple. They love each other.
Oh Jesus, your daddy did not say
No,
that
I'm
shit.
not joking.
Oh,
Right?
And
Say
then
that shit.
and then till 2012 he was anti-gay marriage. So he
Right.
had an epiphany in 1959.
Like, get the fuck
1959 is
out
apparently
of
happening
here.
publicly. Two men kissed. Like this doesn't fucking happen.
Yes,
But-
so
I hated those queers until I saw that happen. You know?
But like, let's say that did happen, and he had this epiphany. Till 2012,
Yeah.
for 50
Wow.
years, you fought against
Wow.
gay marriage after having this epiphany. You asshole!
canceled
Like,
Joe
there's no
Biden
pushback
for
at all on
rights.
this interview on that, so I'm canceling Calvin.
Also, if we're canceling Daily
Cal
Show
Penn-
hosts, Marlon Wayans interviewed Eric Adams, and it was the most softball interview ever. Like, he tried to make it like comedic, but
Really?
it was a very, very softball interview to where even the Daily Show's own audience was.
Who interviewed? Did you say Eric Adams?
Yeah, Marlon Wayans.
Did I miss-
Yeah, the actor interviewed Eric Adams for The Daily Show. He was the co-host.
He was the guest host for like a week.
Yeah, and it was the softest ball interview ever, to where even the comments were like, wow, you missed this opportunity to ask him some real questions. It was like all these celebrity guest hosts are as bad as Trevor Noah.
First episode of Illuminaughtii is about Ice-T's crimes regarding Eric Adams, about honoring Eric Adams as the mayor of hip hop. And I hate to have to do this.
I didn't
Marlon
know that.
That's what the first episode is going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't know. No one. Yeah, no, it's only me who cares. But I've got the information, baby. You gonna care when I'm done. But Marlon Wayans, I will commemorate how fine that man is at the beginning of the video. But if this is what needs to happen, I didn't know that. I know I missed that. I have my pulse on everything Eric Adams does, like right there. But I'm honestly, I think I probably did that because Marlon Wayans so fine. I feel like I'm digging it from the subconscious of my mind. I feel like I might have glimpsed Marlon Wayans and Eric Adams, and I thought these niggas never have to write politics, and I would hate to have to ruin this fine ass mind for myself. So I kept on scrolling. But now that you've brought this to the forefront of my brain, parse through my high fog, I will have to deal with this later because no Eric Adams crimes can go unfucking punished.
He also did White Chicks, so I have to give him the benefit of the doubt because of that.
Do you?
I do. It's a very important movie for me.
I was like, you said that like that was a part of the civil rights movement, but then I realized that you were there. I was like, that probably sounds iconic in your movement. Like,
that Vanessa Carlton song is amazing. So that
That's
movie
fine.
immediately.
So there's
can
a scene.
Can I uncancel Angela Bassett? Can I do that?
Yeah, she was never canceled in my black ass world. But yes.
But in the white Twitter world, she has been. So I'd like to uncancel Angela Bassett for not applauding at the Oscars. Who gives a fuck? That's kind of my vote on that.
Yeah, I'm not privy to any of this.
Well,
Eric,
yeah.
Let me tell you. So Jamie Lee Curtis beat Angela Bassett for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. And Angela didn't clap. She looked sad, like she was fighting back tears. Anyway, she didn't clap. Here come all the white bitches on Twitter. Oh my God, Angela should have clapped. She should have clapped. She should have continued to. That's so classless. She should have celebrated Jamie. Mind you, Jamie Lee Curtis did not clap when Angela got the Golden Globe over,
I didn't know that.
So there's the backstory.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the lore. I didn't know that.
A white woman is not expected to perform through her feelings. She can have whatever fucking feeling. A white woman is allowed to be sad and disappointed and whatever have you, and nobody say shit about it. But a black woman is expected to leap to her fucking feet and cheer through her sadness. The woman has decades in the game, and she couldn't have the grace of looking sad for but a moment. Here it comes. Listen, don't get me started because I'll cancel these white women. You let me start.
I'm okay with that.
She probably didn't clap. She probably didn't clap because there was no clapping for her. Like it's probably just a way to get back at her.
Also, if you see the woman, it's not like she didn't clap. First of all, it's not like she didn't clap and she did this and got up and said, "Fuck the Oscars! Get my shit! Get my shit! Get my shit!" That's not what happened. The woman literally looked like she's fighting tears. She just did she looks like she's gonna cry, bro.
People, if anything, that's more real to me than like performative. Like, oh, good for you. Like, no, everyone's pissed off they didn't win. Just show it. Like, why you gotta hide?
Agreed. But here's what I'll say. No. But about all this, I think this is one of those things where like a lot of parts of the internet tried to turn people against people because I don't think anyone should go after someone who's happy about Jamie Lee Curtis winning because in and of itself, cool. You're happy. That's fine. That's your own thing. And I don't think another part of the internet should be like, hey, by the way, let's tone police, this black woman who didn't show the proper decor in this moment, in this very appropriate thing, or in this award show. And at the end of the day, Jamie Lee Curtis, actually, for the most part, she's actually super beige. She's got a trans daughter. She talks about LGBTQ rights. Exactly. And the internet did that thing where it's like, did you believe that Angela Bassett didn't applaud? I was like, what the fuck? Who cares? Why?
Why people did that thing?
Yes.
People like Jamie Lee Curtis.
100%.
They have shit to say about it. It ain't like with the Harry Styles shit. We were like, this bullshit. No one had no
100%.
side for Jamie. Everybody
100%.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
No one was saying shit that way. What we are saying is, what the fuck, nigga? Angela's supposed to get that fucking Oscar. Let my girl look sad. And
Why are you
why
tone
you talking shit
policing?
about? And I just want to say
Right?
that in
That's
general.
it.
That is because I want to say this. People act like, like there's a difference between expressing something. Like if I'm on my thing and I'm mad for Beyonce, I'm mad for Angela, whatever, and saying that, I do not go and travel to the white part of Twitter to go blow down on like Harry Styles fans or Jamie Lee Curtis fans or whomever the fuck. No, it's only they come over, they saunter their ass on over to Black Twitter to start being like, oh no, what does Grace have to do with it? She should have clapped. That's not fair. It wasn't good. That fucking shit is them, goddammit. It's not we. It's not we. You ever feel yourself transforming into your parents as an adult? Like, and this makes me think of every time my daddy would complain about my mommy, and I'd be like, yeah, y'all are just so. My daddy'd be like, not y'all. Your mommy. And I'm like, and that's me now as an adult. You're like, oh, the internet doesn't think. I'm like, no, not Black Twitter. It was just on white people. Like, but yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, on Cancel Angela, I support that. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's a strong case.
That is. I agree.
One.
I have a cancellation.
I got one.
You're good.
We just canceled
Vinder's
Matt
drunk?
Binder.
And it was
Oh,
like, I'm
that
out of
was
here.
fun.
This is too much Hollywood stuff. Oh, there's back.
Balance. Oh, he's back.
Oh
I
no,
thought you
I
were
had
gonna-
to. My browser was freezing up. I had to refresh.
When you were gone, we talked so much shit about you.
Oh yeah, those
Yeah,
three seconds.
I actually left because I
Really
was
wild.
I was very upset about the
The uncancellation
Jamie
of-
Jamie Lee Curtis slander. No, I'm joking.
I still love so much that Steven Crowder was so
Hey, I love
triggered
that
by
one.
Withering Whites. That shit made me laugh when I saw it. I love it. And I retweeted Lance's response to him too. It was so
I
good.
can't believe
Oh,
I
there's
didn't
so
know that.
much
Y'all
dirt.
need to tell
So
me
much
stuff
dirt.
like that. Y'all need to assume I don't see it. When y'all see me cross over into y'all's area, Twitter, please tell me. I didn't even fucking know. Like, he was making little jokes at me. I was out of the loop.
It's like, come for Olay. If you're gonna swing, you better not miss. And he missed. He missed so hard.
No, that's
They
funny.
miss every
That's-
time.
Every
Yeah.
time.
You know what I actually the other day, and I'm trying to be better, but I actually realized that I'm actually glad that I'm so uncivilized on the internet with cursing people out, because I noticed that because I have a reputation for carrying on bad, people just don't come at me as much. Like, it's very cautious. I noticed that because I saw like me and like Teray responding to the same quote, to the same thing, and they were coming at him by the hundreds. I was like, wow, that's what happens when you're civilized. Like me, a wild banshee on this here Twitter. Everybody, they're like, I'll leave it alone.
Another way to avoid that though is you just mute and block everybody who's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I do. I don't
You
even
also
look at
don't
like my
get involved in it.
replies. I rarely look at my mentions. I just I don't know. Like if people are talking shit, I don't know. And it's perfectly wonderful mentally.
And it's always conservatives. Like it's you know
Mhm.
you go to their profile and they're retweeting Peterson and like Elon Musk and Crowder and all this shit. It's like why do I need to hear what you have to say? I don't.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Is that it? Are we done?
We're done.
Olayemi, you have 1.26 K subscribers now. 1,000.
Wow. Look at that jump.
All right.
subscribers.
Ooh, look
Yeah.
at that. Listen, I love it. Thank you, everybody.
That's like a record.
That's huge.
Doesn't happen very often. 1,000 in a couple hours. That's amazing.
An hour.
Go subscribe, everyone, if you haven't already.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, I love it, okay? And you know, it's good. Listen, y'all, Kelsey, I promise y'all I will be back to doing tea time regularly next week, and I change the time. But when I say to y'all, I'm legitimately dog tired. I've been working to it's unreal. Like between trying to like write for Illuminaughtii, write for op-eds, do my lawyerly shit, do my advocacy shit, develop this show, and like do speaking engagements and like I can't do tea time with Olay. You know, say I barely could talk this episode. I'm running on fumes. I ain't
You're
even sleep.
everywhere, bro. Like you're on every show. You are stretched so fucking thin.
I fucking know. I'm so tired.
I don't know how you've been going so
Yes.
so long like this.
Yes. No, honestly, I'm like, And I'm like, oh, now that lunch is like definitely it's more things for me to do. So, and I have to like write an op-ed tonight that I need to get like done to the person I'm writing it with. So, not tea time
All
tonight,
right.
but I swear by next week.
And when is your first video going up on your channel?
Wednesday.
right.
It is on Eric Adams because it meant something to my heart to make me getting a show the worst thing that ever happened to him. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's great. It's excellent.
I'll
I'm
make sure to hit the
fast.
bell icon on YouTube so I am notified when your
Thank
video
you.
goes live.
And then the episode after that is going to be a really, really great, comprehensive, fun-ass video on bail reform.
Nice.
Amazing.
Bye, y'all.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I'll stay for
Bye,
super
friends.
chats, audience.
We did a tight episode. We
I
actually
like
ended.
it. This is what I
on
like.
Time. Yeah,
10:30.
this is
If we
good.
could do
Yeah.
this every time. This works for me
Clean.
perfectly.
Clean.
I'll work on it. We'll get there. Y'all have a good night.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
All right, folks, before I leave, I am going to check any super chats or Twitch subs that I may have missed. Let me just pull up YouTube real quick here. We are getting out of here a lot earlier tonight, which is nice because I'm also very, very tired. Okay, let's see. Super chats, here we go. So we have $4.99 from Adrian Small, who says, please cancel the NAACP of San Francisco that rejects the $5 million proposal for reparations for black residents. I have not heard of this, but I'll look into that. That seems, maybe they did it because it seems relatively low, but I'm interested to look into this story, though, for sure. So thanks for bringing this to my attention. And one more super chat we have from Lizzie Bennett, $20. Thank you so much. That's incredibly kind. Regarding SVB's $73 million donation, they practically sucked themselves off as being virtuous. I just mentioned that to my coworkers the other some right-wing MAGA NPCs. I work for a credit rating company. Also, Team Charizard for the win. Charizard's a good one. He has been one of my favorites, but as I get older, I kind of gravitate more towards the cuter Pokemon. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. In terms of Twitch, let me just pull it up really quick. Twitch.tv/Humanist Report. Let's see. So, oh, let me mute myself here. Okay. Where are we at? Okay, so we've got 200 bits from Cutthroat1789. Thank you so much, Cutthroat. Really appreciate that. Also with a tier 1 sub, Cutthroat, you are incredible. We also have Tim Bob right now with these 69 bits. Nice. Thank you so much. And I think that's everything. We are all caught up, folks. So, yeah, it's been a great stream. Hopefully you all enjoyed the episode. I'll see you all